Insert story in.
Boo! What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 10 of analyzing all of the Pac-Man ghosts. This is my long-running video series where I analyze and explore into the deep depths of the creations of every single ghost in the entire history of the Pac-Man universe. I find it to be very fun and exhilarating, and I love the comments that I get from people because as Pac-Man fans, it's really interesting to hear everyone's opinions on all these kinds of ghosts, because a lot of these ghosts are ghosts that have only appeared one time, maybe in one game or something like that, and having everyone's unique opinions on them, it means that us as Pac-Man fans, we're basically creating the lore of these ghosts, because a lot of these ghosts have been abandoned because they haven't appeared in future games of the series. So it's like the legacy of these ghosts, they live on through us as the fans. So anyway, let's get started. Number 1, bone ghosts, or skeleton ghosts. These are ghosts that appear in one of the levels in the PC video game Pac-Man Adventures in Time from the year 2000. They appear in the level Maze 34 Dark Dungeon. They're basically a skeleton ghost. But how does that make sense? Like when you die, you become a skeleton, right? But then your spirit goes away and you become a ghost, right? So does the nature of death in Pac-Man differ from our world? How could a ghost be also a skeleton at the same time? It's a paradox. It doesn't make sense. Or are these just regular ghosts that have skeleton face paint makeup to give the illusion that they are skeletons? Is it like a Pac-Man ghost cosplaying as a skeleton? Is this an attempt to scare Pac-Man even more than usual? Because he's not expecting to see a skeleton ghost. Because, skeletons are kind of spooky. Kind of. They're more funny than spooky, actually, in my opinion, skeletons. But still, they almost look like they have a voodoo shaman-esque kind of face paint to them as bone ghosts or skeleton ghosts. Kind of like the villain from the James Bond movie Live and Let Die. And also this level, Dark Dungeons. Like, where is this supposed to be? Because this game, each level takes place in a different time period. Is this like the Middle Ages? Because I see like barrels and, a lot of wood and whatever. Is this in hell and these are skeletons Pac-Man's encountering? Like, where is this supposed to be? Like that title is very interesting to me. Dark Dungeons. I don't know. It's never explained. The reason I'm speculating if the skeleton ghost is wearing makeup is because a lot of the ghosts from the different eras of the levels in this game, it looks like they're wearing costumes, even though they're really the actual thing. It just kind of looks like they're wearing costumes, though. So, I don't know, visually, it sort of looks like it's a ghost wearing a costume, but yeah, they probably really are skeleton ghosts, but again, the extreme irony of this, like, how does that make any sense? That doesn't make sense. How could you be a skeleton and a ghost at the same damn time? I know it's Pac-Man, but whatever. Alright, anyway, let's move on. Number 2, Brute. Brute is a ghost that appears in Crazy Otto, which was the original version of Ms. Pac-Man before they changed it to Ms. Pac-Man. And the ghosts are really interesting in this game because they kind of look like alien creatures to me. I don't even know what they're supposed to be. I'm not even sure if there actually are ghosts, but I'll just call them that. Brute is the light blue ghost who is in the spot of Inky from the original Pac-Man arcade game. I love that title he has, that name, Brute. Like brute strength, like he's just ready to fuck you up. It's a badass title for a ghost, and it's a different title that maybe is trying to intimidate Crazy Otto or Pac-Man or whatever, one of the Pacs. It's clearly a ghost that is full of himself and feels like he really is an intense character. It's a very unusual name for a ghost because most of the ghost names in Pac-Man are pretty fun names. Not that Brute's not a fun name, but most of the names in Pac-Man, the Ghosts of Pac-Man, they're pretty innocent, funky, silly names. But here we got Brute, and frickin' 1981 or whatever, or 2 or something. As I mentioned in part 9, I'm going to be exploring the bootleg Pac-Man ghosts from the classic bootleg Pac-Man games, because I consider them part of the ghost family of Pac-Man, because a lot of these characters that are bootleg ghosts that aren't official ones, they've been part of the Pac-Man series for like 20 to 30 years. So I feel like we should recognize them as being part of the legacy of Pac-Man in a general broad scope. Number 3, Fire Ghosts. Fire Ghosts appear in the TV series Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. They're very, very interesting. I think they mostly appear in the background and of the TV series, and like they're not shown a million times really, and they're another kind of ghost that isn't fully explored, I think. I also don't recall seeing fire ghosts in the Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures video games based off of the TV show. Maybe they're there because I haven't played through all those games all the way. So let me know in the comments if you've seen them in the games, because to me, a fire ghost is such an excellent enemy for Pac-Man to encounter in a video game, even more so than the TV show. Plus, a fire ghost must have an extra advantage over the typical Pac-Man ghost. A fire ghost has a projectile, a weapon he can throw at Pac-Man with his fire. Definitely reminds me of the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four, other famous fire characters in pop culture history. Definitely reminds me of the Red Devil Ghost from Pac-Man World 2 that throws fireballs at you in a world that kind of looks like a version of hell or something. And since Pac-Man World 2 came out before this TV show, does that mean the fire ghosts were inspired from the Red Devil Ghost from Pac-Man World 2? Lord Betrayus himself is apparently a fire ghost, and he also claims to be the strongest fire ghost of all time. It kind of makes sense to me because they portray Betrayus in the show. That was a tongue twister. They kind of portray Betrayus in the show as almost like Hades to hell or something like that. So it would kind of make sense that he would have fire abilities. Number 4, Outlaw Ghosts. I noticed that there are ghosts that appear in Pac-Man Adventures in Time that are like cowboy ghosts, pretty much. So that's why I'm calling them outlaw ghosts or cowboy ghosts. They got the classic cowboy hat, the mustache, and they have fucking guns. Fucking guns. Real weapons. Can anyone even think of another Pac-Man related thing where there were guns in it? Not that I can recall. So I find that pretty neat, and it's different. I mean, I have always talked about how there's certain ghosts that I come across that they're very different than the other ones. But this one is especially very different. I mean, weapons, it's also really neat to think about, because why would a ghost use a human weapon to attack someone? It's a ghost. Doesn't the ghost already have like a special power itself? Then again, I was talking about the fire ghost having fire abilities, but that seems more spiritual, like fire, hell, brimstone, something like that. But this is just a human weapon. So I think that's pretty interesting. Number 5, Millennia. Millennia is a neon green colored ghost from the bootleg Pac-Man arcade game, Ultra Pac-Man. I always loved this game, and the ghosts are really creative and unique, and they have unique color schemes to them. We have seen a lot of other green ghosts in Pac-Man, such as Funky and other kinds of ghosts. I just really love the name of this ghost, Millennia, and also has the nickname 2001. Since this game is from 1999, a lot of the ghosts in this title, there are puns from the Y2K scare that was going on at the time. So it makes this Pac-Man game more of a time capsule title than all of the other Pac-Man titles. So Millennia is a classic ghost that lives in the year 2001. This is a ghost that we can assume was born or created from the year 2001. So whoever died and became Millennia had to be someone who died in the year 2001 and then became the ghost known as Millennia. Yeah, something like that. I'm trying to come up with a backstory. And that's another thing we can do as Pac-Man fans, is that we should create all these backstories for all these other unique and obscure and unknown ghosts that I'm uncovering and other fans are uncovering. We should create backstories for them and expand their characters so that they, over time, can become legendary instead of just an oddity. So yeah, anyway, I think Millennia is a really cool ghost. And yeah, it's classic. I mean, it makes me think of the early 2000s back in the day, and I loved the the glory years of the early 2000s. So Millennia always just makes me think of that time and makes me reminisce about that time. Number 6, shark ghosts, or some people like to call them aqua ghosts. These are ghosts that are underwater in the TV series, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. Does that mean that these ghosts were fish that died underwater and now they've become fish ghosts? Is that what they are? How about that? We can assume, just like the fire ghosts, that they have some special abilities being underwater ghosts. That they can take advantage of the underwater atmosphere even more than fish could. And this could potentially make it easier for them to harm Pac-Man. Especially being underwater, that's not really Pac-Man's domain, and he's slower underwater. So because of this, aqua ghosts, or I like to call them shark ghosts, it's their realm, so they have much more of an advantage over the Paxter there. Number 7, gold and silver ghosts. And this I'm not so sure about. I think these ghosts in Pac-in-time, they kind of look silver and gold to me. There's two particular ghosts that float around in some of the mountain levels. They look different for some reason. Their color scheme is not the same as other typical color schemes of ghosts we've seen before. Now, the other ghosts that wander about in Pac-in-time, they have the classic colors from the original Pac-Man Ghost characters already. Even though none of their names are listed, their colors indicate to me that the light blue ghost, that's probably Inky. The red ghosts, they're Blinky. Purple ghosts are Sue. And you got pink is Pinky, right? We can assume the green ghost is maybe Funky or something. And you got the orange ghost that's Clyde. The yellow ghost, I'm not sure about either. I don't know what ghost that is. Maybe Kinky? But Kinky came out later in Pac-Man Arrangement, so whatever. Maybe we can just say it's Kinky or something. I just noticed that the other two ghosts, though, they may not be silver and gold, but they are a little bit shiny, I think, than the other ghosts. And I'd like to think that they're gold and silver ghosts, because it's just more exciting that way. And speaking of that, how come we never had a gold or silver ghost in all the Pac-Man games? That's probably an oversight. They should make a new Pac-Man game where there is a gold ghost or silver ghost or bronze ghost. Different color ghosts that they never came up with before. Then again, maybe we can just say these ghosts are silver and gold from Pac-in-time. I really don't know if they are, though. By the way, I think Pac-in-time is a great game. It's just a little too convoluted at times. They make it a little too tricky to figure out where to go and what to do. But I still think it's great because it's very creative, and I find myself having fun once I figure out what to do, but it's really too much of a hassle. But I do disagree with other fans. I mean, it is a great game. Come on. I mean, how could you not love stuff about Pac-in-time? I mean, just the title alone is just awesome. And by the way, Pac-in-time is pretty much the precursor to Pac-Man Adventures in Time for the PC. And number 8. Jasper. Jasper is a really interesting, cool blue ghost from the bootleg Pac-Man game Ghost Muncher Uni-Wars. In Part 9, I already talked about the lead ghost of that title, Casper. Jasper has a similar title, and I think it's meant to be purposefully similar to Casper. Jasper is a very cool name for a ghost, and it does make you think of other fictional characters with the title of Jasper. I think he stands out a little bit to me because it's a blue ghost, and the ghosts turn blue when Pac-Man eats the power pellet, right? But this ghost is already blue. So it makes Jasper a unique ghost to mention in the history of Pac-Man. We really don't see a blue-colored ghost in Pac-Man, not usually. And that's what I loved about these old-school bootleg Pac-Man games from the 1980s and 1990s, that they had unique colored ghosts. And it was already unique that they were making a bootleg, and so they didn't want to be traditional because part of them wanted to get away with making the game and not get sued. So they tried all these unique ways to make the game seem different than Pac-Man, even though it really wasn't for the most part. But still, they were made by fans that clearly loved Pac-Man, I think. I don't really know, but I think so. I think that's fair to say. But because they were trying to be clever with the copyright, This created more opportunity to create unique colored ghosts and names for the ghosts. Like names of ghosts that you would never see in a regular Pac-Man game. Like what I mentioned earlier when I said Brute from Crazy Otto. I mean, they probably wouldn't name a ghost Brute in an official Pac-Man title. It'd be cool if they did. It's not really that intense. But it's interesting and it's different. And I like Jasper, and the title is great because it makes people think of Casper and the nostalgia of the ghost of Casper. It's just perfect. So anyway, guys, this was me exploring and analyzing the Pac-Man Ghosts Part 10. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I hope you have a fantastic day, a fantastic week, a fantastic rest of the year. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Which one of these ghosts was your favorite that I listed today? Anyway, my name is SuperPat98, and I'll see you next time.